Hi, my name is Donna Bervinchak and I'm a Feldenkrais practitioner. This is the second part of a walking lesson with Katherine. She's complaining of having foot pain in the front part of her foot, and she has a history of walking in high heels. During this lesson, I'd like to teach Katherine to use her entire foot and back while she walks. As you can see, some of this lesson will be in fast forward so you can get an idea of what a Feldenkrais lesson looks like. Throughout this lesson, I'm going to be working a lot with Katherine's upper back. The reason being is because Katherine has a history of walking in high heels, she usually walks with her feet in front of her, which does not require her back between the shoulder blades to move. So I'm getting ready for the vertebrae between the shoulder blades to respond to walking when she pushes off the back foot and pushes herself forward. Her pelvis will go into extension, and each vertebrae in the upper back have the capability of extending as well. So right here you can see I'm now extending her upper back, and Katherine's head is moving more, so that would be like pushing off the back foot in walking. As you can see, Katherine's daughter is watching the session, and I'm explaining my thinking as I work. And her daughter starts to see the improvement. Right here, as I push through Katherine's pelvis, I explain that the movement is traveling up through her back, and her daughter can tell that her head is moving more. Right here, I'm moving the arm to see if I could get the vertebrae to respond to the movement of the arm, as well as her ribs and her chest. And this is in fast forward again. Sometimes I'm holding the ribs to differentiate the vertebrae, and sometimes I'm inviting the ribs to come along with the arm. I'm pulling the arm at many different angles, feeling where the movement is smoother or easier. The improvement in her shoulder is greater, as well as the extension in her upper back from the previous movement. Now I'm introducing the movement of the back leg in walking. So I'm extending her leg the way the leg would move, pushing off in walking. Right now, this is in fast motion. I'm moving Katherine's head and shoulder together. This is so when she moves her head, the vertebrae between her shoulder blade can respond to that movement. Here I'm finding her shoulder blade sliding easier, and I'm going to push right now through the 7th cervical vertebrae, and now her head responds to that movement. Katherine is responding wonderfully to the information I am giving her through my hands. As I return to the test movements of extending her upper back and extending her pelvis, I can feel with my hands the improvement, and I think you can see it as well. Now this is near the end of the lesson. I'm taking Katherine's leg and I'm moving it behind her just as she would if she were stepping in walking. And I'm asking her to lengthen her arm forward so that this movement travels through her vertebrae to her head, so that when she walks, she'll feel an extension and a lengthening of herself. And then at this point, I actually ask Katherine to push her back leg into me so she can start to feel the movement herself, an exaggeration of the push off in walking. Now this is in real time. As I move her pelvis and her shoulder, you can see her entire body responds to the movement, which is what will help her in walking. So this is the end of the lesson, and Katherine is visiting the first movement we did in part 1 of this lesson, moving the right sit bone forward and backward. Now she's trying to do it on the left side, and she's laughing because it's so much harder. We haven't explored that side as of yet. Notice that her back moves more easily when she moves her right sit bone compared to the left. Also notice that her face is more relaxed on one side than the other. When she walks, notice the push off of her right leg compared to the left.